What's up, guys? Aiden Smith here at the Paint Your Path podcast. We got Joel Mercado, and we got a special guest. We got Daniel Thayer with Integrity Painting. Let's go. How you doing, bro?
Hey, I'm doing great, man. The weather's nice here. It's nice and sunny out. So
Is it?
Yeah, it's actually. I think I could start some exteriors now, so that'll help out.
Let's get it.
Bro, when I was at the expo in Colorado Springs, there was I was freezing my ass off, and then there was one part where I literally got sunburn.
Oh wow.
Because I don't know, I guess they say you can literally get sunburned down there, because I don't know how it works, but I'm like, dude, I'm getting roasted right now, sweat my ass off. And I thought it was gonna be below 2 degrees.
Wow.
Yeah, people, when they think, they're like, oh, you're in Colorado, they're like, oh, it's got to be snowy and cold. But I'm over by Utah, so it's actually a desert area. So it's I can paint all winter. Technically, there's a couple weeks where we can't. And then I don't start bigger projects, but I could squeeze in a couple here and there just because a lot of times it'll be 50 degrees. Last week was 60 degrees and now it's back down to 40 degrees. But you gotta plan it just right.
Yeah. Damn, bro. Dude, I'm going to give you a proper intro because you got a lot of good things going for you over there.
Yeah.
My man, first off, he's got the best hats probably in the industry.
Yes.
Very jealous of the hats. Grand Junction, Colorado, voted Best of the West 4 years in a row. Father, husband, served in the Navy.
Yes.
And I actually got a picture of it.
Oh, you did?
Young Daniel in the flesh. We'll share that in a second. We got a $5 million painting business over there?
Yeah,
Yeah, 5 million. He's a Christian networker. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I mean, I credit everything I have to God. I don't even know. Every day I'm just surprised that I'm where I'm at right now, and I just love being able to have somebody there. Every day, I just love being able to pray to God and just thank Him for everything, and be able to go to Him when I have a problem or I need advice on something. He's just always there to guide me, and it's been awesome, man. My family's awesome. My business is growing. We got some really good people in our organization that are Christians, and that really helps me. Before, the more people that I've been hiring that have God in their life, I feel the better my life has been becoming. And so I'm kind of working towards that, where the more people I could get around me to keep me in that mindset, and just keep doing the right thing, and keep growing and being a better person and a better husband and business owner and leader. That's what it's all about for me. So
I love that, bro. And you don't see it's very rare to have a huge company and think that way, in my opinion. At least you got a lot of not so good people, that are just money hungry, and I think it says a lot about you, So that's awesome, bro. What I was referring to is you told me that you put a post out there and were I'm looking to create a Christian networking group. Anybody interested? And you had a bunch of people hit you up.
Yeah, that's actually a really good thing. We are meeting again next week, and I didn't realize there's so many people looking for a group to be in, and there's a BNI group, and I'm just there's a lot of religions that actually meet with each other and help each other out, and then the Christians don't do anything. They're just kind of on their own little thing, and I'm well, why don't we get together and make our own little group? And so we just meet up for lunch, but it's getting to a point where it's really big. I could have a group of 300 people that want to join.
Wow.
And I'm well, we got to find somewhere bigger to meet, but just to pray for each other and meet with each other and help each other out through problems. They don't have anywhere to go to, other business owners. And I've been approached a lot at church about other business owners asking for advice and stuff. And like, so I'm like, well, I could help a lot of people. I wish like there was somebody there for me that I could have went to when I was starting out my company. I just had to do trial and error, and we just kind of did it as a team.
Figure it out.
Yeah, man. Dude, the one thing I love about, like, one thing that I would say, I don't want to say triggered me, but there was something that you said at PaintCon that I'm like, you know what Daniel has as a specialty is your networking abilities. When you were talking
100%.
about how you built your business through relationships and networking, tell us a little bit about that. Because like anyone that's new or hasn't heard of you or your company, talk a little bit about the relationship side and the building on that. Because obviously, like, you're doing this now in the Christian networking. You're right? And you've mentioned about GCs. You've mentioned about you checking in on people and making sure you're doing the follow-ups and stuff. I think a lot of people lack that in their lives and how important that is to have. So if you don't mind talking a bit about that, that'd be awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, so like when we first started out, I would go, like I was knocking doors and I met a builder, and I realized working for him, I was getting jobs, like 2 jobs a week, like 2 jobs a month. And I was like, okay, like, so like I just kept trying to be friends with them and kept trying to like, try to make sure I took really good care of him. And like I noticed like everyone that he had working for him, they were all really good friends and like they're really close. So like I know like if you're gonna do that, like you gotta be close because anybody can go get 20 bids. I was seeing one guy. He said yesterday, his job was 9,800, and he got a sub to bid it for $800. And it's like anyone can find $800 bid for a $9,800 project. Like, but if you have a friend and he does a good job and he's honest and you guys like working together, like they're gonna go with you every time. Like, and I noticed it more as the older painters started to retire. I was friends with a lot of the older painters. Like I'd go to them for advice or I'd give them respect, and I would talk them up about how great they were. And I really do feel like they're like a big part of this town and what they gave for their 30, 40 years of business. Like, and they just started handing me down clients to take care of them for them. And I noticed like they would never give me the work because that guy had it. Like he had every job they had. And then as soon as they passed it down to me and they retired, I would get every single job from that person because they just wanted somebody they could rely on to get it done on time and do a good job. So like it's always been, for me, it's always been about relationships. And we're in a pretty small town anyway, so people, there's 200 painting companies here, and it's like, I mean, it can be a struggle to get work when you have 200 people bidding against you all the time. So, and then you guys have that too, where you have like thousands of painters. I mean, the only thing that sets you apart from everybody else is if you're best friends with the guy that is looking for the price, right?
Yeah.
He can even tell you, hey, you're $200 too high, and it's like, okay, cool, like let's take it off, like whatever, like we'll just make it work.
Yeah,
something $800 sub.
Something that's interesting about you is you've grown this business in an area, like you said, that there's not many people. It's a pretty small town, and I think people sometimes look at their area and don't see the potential, right? Sometimes I'll even look up people where they live because they say, I'm in a small town, I don't even know if I can get to 1 million. And I look it up, and it's like, for me, I look at it and say, hey, I know we can do that because there's somebody I know in Daniel that has literally done it. So what would you say to that limiting belief, or somebody that says maybe there's not much, available for me?
So I ran into a guy last year, and they were just a new company. I never even heard of them. And they were like, we're doing 11 million this year. And I'm like, what the heck? Like, and then another guy came up to me and was telling me how he was doing 11 million. So like I've been having the same limited belief too. Like, yeah, we're stuck at 5 million, but it's like there actually is more work out there. My focus is keeping my relationships and keeping my profits where they need to be. And if I don't do 5 million this year, like I don't care. Like my goal is to have a healthy, profitable business that I love and people around me that are going to help me to be a better person and grow as a leader. So like I'm not worried about the numbers. This year I'm just focused on growing and having a good company. So
wow.
There's a lot, bro. That's
and
awesome.
your guy Josh is awesome too, Rand. We gave him props on the one podcast we were on where he went up there and wasn't it with Andy Elliott or something?
It was
no, it
was Justin's.
Justin.
Justin's.
I'm sorry. Yeah, with Justin G, he went up and he was doing the whole door knocking thing.
Oh yeah.
And he held his own. That was awesome, man. That takes balls, you know?
Yeah, he's very quick. He's very good closing guy, very quick. He's very friendly. When I first met him, I was like, man, I've never met anybody that you're like, man, this guy's really cool, really nice. You could trust him right away. And I was like, that's what I want my customers to feel for the first.
He's got that gravity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And my guy Alden's like that too. He's a really sweet guy. He's not pushy. He just goes in there and works with these people until they decide to go with them. Like he'll call them every day and hang out with them every day until they go with them. And he's just so good too. Like, and it's nice because like him and Josh, like when I was at the conference every morning, Josh was like praying out loud. I mean, it was 6 o'clock. I'm still sleeping. He's over there praying, and then he goes and works out with everybody. And I was like, man, that's really cool, man. Like,
what a guy.
Alden goes to church with me every week. Like, I like my sales guys.
It's a good team.
That's awesome, dude.
Dude, I want to talk how you found them, but first I want you to give us a breakdown of where you came from, how it transpired, and kind of just give us that journey. But before that, let me share my screen real quick because I got to share the old pic of you, bro.
There he is. There he is.
So if you're watching, I mean, that's you, right, Daniel? I didn't get this wrong? Dude, that's like epic, bro. You without a beard, man.
Yeah.
So if you're watching on YouTube or whatever, it's just, you get to see this. It's pretty cool.
Wow. The young, and thank you for your service, man. Obviously,
yeah, man, 100%.
Thank you. So appreciate you, man.
Yeah, bro. Take us through, Daniel. Take us from the beginning.
Yeah. So, let's see. I was working at a painting company, and the guy that I was working for, he would never give me a raise. Like I asked him a couple of times if I could do sales or manage or do more. I just really wanted a family and a better life. And after a year, he was like, no, we're going to keep you at the same, I think it was like $15 an hour is what I was making. And I was running everything. So I was like, okay, well, I went to his house one day and he had like RV and like a nice house and a family. And I was like, okay, like I could probably make some money painting, So I ended up leaving and starting my own company. And then I just started knocking doors and calling builders and just trying to get any kind of opportunity I could get. And I think the first time I had 2 houses on one neighborhood, I hired 4 guys, and when I seen that they could get it done in the 1 week, I was like, man, I could keep growing this. So I just managed both teams and helped them out, and then we got them both done. And I was like, okay, so I kept those guys busy and started getting work for them, and I just kept doubling that, and that's. After like 10 years, I was pretty happy where I was at. I had like 20 guys and I was doing really well. And I was able to keep them busy through the winter. And we were really like a really tight company. And then I went to the PCA for my first time 2 years ago. And I found out people were making like $10 million, $20 million a year. And I was like, oh shoot, like, I better step it up. And my daughter was getting older. Like my daughter was 3 and I'm like, she's going to be getting older and I got to buy her a car and send her to college. I was like, we better start really building this thing. And my wife, she quit her job and was like, let's do it. She's like, I'm going to help you. And so her coming and helping me, and we work really good together. Like, she's like really good with like numbers and computer stuff, and um, she's like, I don't know if you guys know disc assessment, but
Yeah. Yep.
so like I'm a high D, high I, she's a high C, high S. So like
Oh, wow.
we work perfect together.
Mm.
So she's like, hey, I think we should do this, and I'm like, I'm like over here, like trying to implement it in, but also like I really care what people's feelings are because I'm a high I too. So like I'm trying to implement it, but do it nicely at the same time. And so um, it's been good with us working together. And then I hired a coach and Eric Barstow, and he really like he encouraged me, man. Like the fact that he was only working like an hour a week on his business and growing it at the same time, I was like, okay, like this is the guy I want to learn from, because at that time, when I started to grow without a coach, it was hectic because I was working tons, thinking if I just worked through it. I didn't really realize that it was having a great team and having great employees that is what really matters. You can work all you want, but if you don't have a great team that's on board and that cares about you and wants to do good for the company, like you're just gonna fail. Like you can't outwork them, people that care for you. So
Eric's the OG. He inspired me when I was younger, when I was going through it, growing my business, man, looking up his YouTube videos, and he would give me the game, and he'd make it real simple and straightforward. He's like, look, charge this and you'll be fine. You'll get used to it. Like, it was just like so refreshing to like, all right, I'm just gonna follow this guy. So I actually met him for the first time at the expo this past couple weeks, and I just was like, dude, I just want to say thank you. You know what I mean? You helped me a lot when I was younger, and that was pretty cool.
Wow.
Yeah,
I was giddy.
Yeah, the first time I met him, I was starstruck. I was like, oh. He's like, I'm just a normal person. I'm like, oh.
A little shorter than I expected, I ain't gonna lie.
Well, I felt the same way when I met the Idaho painter.
Oh, really? He's short?
That's how I learned to paint. I didn't even know how to
meet him, bro. I didn't meet him.
Dude,
sick.
The fact that you said that, I was gonna say when I first started in the painting company, I didn't know who else to look up, and all I see is the Idaho painter, and it's all I would watch is every video on YouTube, and I'm like, okay, apply this way, spray this way, and I started just like digesting all of his content. So like that's who really got me on game too. So that's funny you guys say that.
Yeah, I like got a picture with them, and he talked to me about all of his haters online, and I'm like, how do you deal with those guys, man? He's like, I used to block them all. Now I just add them back on so I can get the algorithm up. I'm like,
yes, he's doing it right. What a legend.
Yeah, man. Well, they say if you have haters, you're doing something right either way. So
yeah, and I'm like, I think he does it on purpose. I used to do that on purpose a lot too, where I like to like stir the pot and get people like riled up, and it would get my name out there. And like the thing that sucks is like it would encourage me to do it more, because people would like pull me off the street and be like, that was so funny what you posted, and they would like tell their friend, and their friend would hire me, and then like I would just keep doing these bad things, and I got like really, really well known for saying and posting really like offensive stuff. And then after a while, I couldn't defend myself anymore because I have sales guys and project managers, so I had to quit. Like I just stopped doing it because they were getting attacked because they were like, "Are you Daniel? I seen your post," and they're like, "No, I'm Ryan, or I'm Josh. Sorry." So I just quit doing it. But like when it was just me, it was fun.
Bro, I had that on my intro. I had one of the best social media accounts in the industry.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And he still has an AOL email.
I think
Dude,
that's a good conversation. Baby boomers are the ones that have all the money, so they love my AOL.
Gosh.
That's true though.
They're like, you're an old soul, Daniel. Take my business. Here you go.
Yeah.
Like, we trust this guy. He's got AOL.
I love it, dude.
That's hilarious.
Oh man, I wasn't expecting that one.
But that's what you expect, bro. or that's what you can expect when you get Daniel around. Before I even knew the guy, first time I met him, I just started laughing, bro. You just have that aura about you, man. And
That's cool.
like, I think that's such a good quality because not many people have that, right? Like, even I deal with like being a little bit stiffer sometimes, and people see me as like this grumpy old man. Like, it's a good quality, bro. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, 100%.
And what's cool is, bro, you're now being seen in the like from the outside looking in as one of these top guys, man. Like, you just referenced Idaho Painter, right? Eric Barstow, bro. You're being seen like that for what you're doing. I mean, you're on stage at PaintCon, dude. You're doing like epic things. Like, how does that feel?
I just feel like the exact same as I felt, 10 years ago, which is like, is that what you guys feel too? I mean, do you guys feel like anything different? I don't.
I'm just a guy, you know.
Yeah,
I think
I'm
you're
the
cool.
same
I
way.
liked hanging out with you when we were working out, and then Joel, like, because I like seen Joel, like the way he talks on stage, and I was like looking up to him, and then he like talking to me, and I was like, oh, he's normal. And then I see you all the time, and then I was like looking up to you, and then we were all working out, and I was like, oh, he's cool too, like, and like Idaho Painter, I was like, oh, hey, like I was so scared, and then he was like, hey, let's hang out. I was like, okay, cool.
Let's hang out.
And then he looks over, and I'm on like the big screen at the PCA, and I was like, hey, that's me. I'm cool too. But
when I first met you, this is awkward, but we were taking a pee next to each other. And I said, "You're the guy on Eric Barstow's ads," and you were like, "Yeah, that's me."
I'm so glad Eric put me on there, man. It's been awesome.
Legendary, bro.
I've gotten a lot of people message me and ask me for help, and I had somebody message me today, and they're like, "Hey, can you help me with a couple things?" I'm like, "Yeah." I actually met a guy at a sales training event that was like, I was about to give up my whole company, and I called you, and I called like 20 people, and you were the only one that answered and helped me out.
Wow.
I was like, really? I was like, I don't even know. Like, I didn't even know who he was. And like, I didn't remember anything about any of that. Cause anytime somebody calls, I always like want to go and help them and spend like an hour talking them off of a cliff. Cause I have been there so many times.
Well, you do that for projects too, right? Don't you do a lot of free work or here and there?
Yeah. I mean, we'll donate a lot of stuff. We did like a gym floor for the kids. That one cost a lot of money. I donated some stuff to like the teen areas at church. Like whenever they have like they always call me, and I'm just like, just buy the paint, or we'll just send some guys over. Like, I always like helping out.
Yeah,
and
that's awesome.
We've been blessed for that. So
wow.
And it's good to see kids doing something good. Like, most kids are out here running crazy. So like, if I can help paint a teen youth group and help get more kids there and get them involved, that works for me. So,
dude, that's awesome, bro.
Dude. Wow. I think the biggest thing is what a lot of people don't realize. This is why like Aiden and I on our podcast always talk about our community. Listen to what you just said. Like, hey, you hopped on a call, you were able to help somebody just off of just pure, hey, this is what I've experienced. And you and I have been on a call before too about just personal stuff. Like, hey, I'm thinking about doing this. What are your thoughts? And I'm like, dude, I think it's a great idea, right? To have that support, how important that is, right? Because like I mention it all the time too. When I first started in painting, dude, I literally was struggling every day. Like, people would see me online and just, I was trying to motivate myself. That's why I was doing those posts. But we're just regular people doing the thing, the day-to-day that we do, right? And we just want to share, hey, what to do and what not to do so you don't repeat the same mistakes we have. And I think that's powerful, man. And, kudos to you. We recognize that in the industry. Like, we know that that's your character. And it's like something that we were so excited. We're like, we need to get Daniel on the pod because of that, right? Because we want to be surrounded by more people like that, and people to understand, like, hey, there's value to be had to just ask. We're going to give you the answer and help you as best as we can. So, yeah, man.
I think that it's like this industry was just so bad, and like the last 5 years, it has just become like a professional industry where there's actually like real numbers and people actually do real bids, and they have, good people coming into it. And the PCA, the way that it's been, I think at like 10x this year,
Yeah.
the way they're reaching to new people, new painting companies and older painting companies, and just helping everybody get on the same page. It's like, it's crazy to me how much it grows. All we had before was Idaho painter videos, and now we have every podcast and every thing you could look for. There's a podcast for it, and you can become an awesome painting company just by watching podcasts or following people on Facebook. And
it's more
crazy.
important now than ever, man, to even take it more serious too, right?
Mm-hmm.
And invest in yourself, because it's like, I've heard it a couple times in the PCA, like private equity is coming in and it's going to be, affecting a lot of people, especially those smaller guys that are just trying to get, scrape at the bit. It's going to be a lot harder for them. The barrier of entry is going up. So I think doing all the legwork as well is super important. Like you said, right? Going and talking to the local GCs and building those relationships, right? Those are the things that people aren't doing right now. Like, even when I talk to people, right, on like the discovery calls, and Joel can probably speak to this as well, I ask them, like, what are you doing to get leads and whatnot? And they're kind of like, well, I spent it on a marketing company and, it didn't really go that great. And I'm like, well, what do you do the rest of the day that you have no jobs? Blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, bro, you have to go get after it, dude, any way you can. Like you said, knock doors, man. Visit job sites. You told me that. You said, hey, pull up to a job site of guys working, ask for the project manager or whoever's in charge, and just start talking to them. Start getting to know them. That's huge.
Yeah, that's kind of where I kind of slacked off last year. Is this year I had a meeting with all my painters and all my team, and I gave them all my personal phone number, because before they'd have to go through the office and meet with me. And I realized that having my personal phone number is bringing the morale up a lot more. And so I just gave them all my phone number. I'm like, you guys call me anytime, like during working hours, and if you ever need anything or have any issues, like, let's talk more. Let's see if we can figure out a way to improve the company. And they were just like, all of them just started writing my number down, and they were telling me they're going to call me. And I was like, cool, like, this is what I want. Before I was like trying to let my guys run everything and have everything like kind of just run itself. But like, the more farther I was getting away from it's like, I didn't know it. Like, I wasn't figuring out what the problems were and what I needed to work on until it was too late. And now that I'm involved 100%, like, I'm involved on production, I'm involved in sales, I'm involved on everything now. And so, like, now that I'm involved, I've been like tweaking things and teaching my guys different sales stuff, and just spending time with the production guys and teaching them some things. And this is going to be a really good year of growth, and just being a bigger team, and being a part of the whole crew now. I'm in all the way now. So,
what would you say is, what was the biggest game changer for you, right? What was the hump that you ran into, and what did you like look and say, hey, this is how we're going to surpass it? Or what did you do to kind of get past that hump?
My biggest game changer was hiring an estimator, because I was so busy doing estimates that I would just answer the phone, look it up on Google, and give them a price over the phone and tell them if they want to schedule or not.
No way.
I think I probably lost so much work from doing that, but I can't do 8 bids a day. I got 2 bad reviews from it, because I'm like, yeah, it's going to be $10,000. Do you want to schedule that? I have openings. And they're like, you haven't even been here. I was like, well, if you get on the schedule, I'll come look at it. And like, I just had so many bids, and I was running everything, that I just didn't have time to do it. So I think once I hired an estimator, and their full-time job was to spend an hour and a half with every single customer, and then call them and follow up and go over every detail and measure every square area, and go in with a pointer and point out every little spot and do everything like the way that I should have been doing it, our sales just skyrocketed. So
and speak to how you found those guys. I mean, you got some gems over there. what did that process look like?
I think like when you run into people, you kind of just like know like this guy is somebody I want to have around me. Like the first time I met Alden, I was at the gym and he wanted to race me, and we just kind of raced through the parking lot. And then I found out he was working for one of my friends, and um, I found out like a couple years later, I added him on Facebook, and I haven't talked to him for like 3 years. And then I was looking for an estimator, and I found out he was working at a painting company in town. And I was like, "Come work for me, come work for me. Like, I really want you to come work for us." And I couldn't get him over here until I posted a sales position. I was like, "Let me teach you sales. I got to get you away from that company. Like, come over here and work for me." And he was like, "Okay, fine." So he finally came over, but like. Um, I've done that before where I've looked for painters and people have been like, they work at McAllister's. He's a really good painter. And I went to McAllister's, found the guy, introduced myself, was like, "Do you want to be a painter?" And he's like, "Wow, you came to find me?" I was like, "Yeah, I want the best painters. I want all of them."
Oh man, dude.
And he came to work for me the next day. He's been here for like 7 years.
Dude, that's like a meme
Wow.
when you're painting and you're going ham, and then Daniel's just looking over. He's just out the corner, just
Oh, man.
scouting painters.
I'm like, "Why are you working at McAllister's? Come work for me." And he's been with us ever since. It's been awesome.
Wow, dude. But look at that. You played the long game on all of this stuff. You're planting seeds across the board everywhere in your business. Like the
Yeah.
more I talk to you, the more you're just planting seeds, and you're reaping the rewards down the road, right? And just hoping you're not
can't
scaring
teach
anybody
that.
off with your memes.
People don't freaking listen. Like you could tell them this stuff, and they could like if they literally copied everything I did, it would be they would be doing great. But it's like like you said, like it's all these little tiny things, like making friends with every single person you meet. Like I was talking to some guy the other day at the pool, and I was just we're just talking about just random stuff and being cool. I show up at this bid, and he's the guy that's in charge, and we're best friends.
Wow.
It's like
Wow.
you have to be friends with every person you meet, and like that's how my friend Josh. I've been trying my other friend Josh. He lives in Kansas. I'm trying to get him out here because he just makes friends with so many people. Like when I went out with him, he handed out his business card to 20 people in like an hour.
Wow.
Like, and he's selling insurance. He was just like, "Hey, do you need insurance? Hey, do you need insurance?" Like paying his tip at the bar. "Hey, do you need insurance?" Buying food. "Hey, getting coffee. Here, do you need insurance?" Like if you were that motivated
Just a
and to
dog.
hand out 20 cards an hour, think of how much work you would have. And these people,
Yeah.
they just sit at home all day, and they just sit there and they're like, "I can't find any work." It's like, yeah, go get it, bud. Go do something.
We got to remember, man, there's two people in this world. It's people that have to see it before they believe it, or the other person that can believe it before they have to see it, right? So they already see it before it happens. And I truly believe those are two different people in the world. And when you know that guy who can just get out there and just make it happen, just off of a belief system, those are the right people to have. It's just the reality. So and it sounds like you're magnetic towards that. Like you're like a magnet that people want to be around.
I was on our anniversary day at this restaurant, and I'm like, "Hey, what are you drinking?" Like to the guy next to me, right? This dude's a developer in Aspen, and I'm working on a $70,000 estimate right now for him.
Wow.
And that was like 5 months ago. And all I asked him was like, "Hey, what you drinking?" Like on my anniversary. And he's like, "Hey, do you know any painters?" I was like, "Yeah, me." Like,
Yeah, I know a guy.
and he's like, "Oh, really?" And then he asked a couple people in town, and they were like, "Yeah, man, he's really good. You should try him out." And now like he's wanting us to do all kinds of stuff up in Aspen for him.
Wow. That's
awesome.
Huge, man.
Dude,
I mean,
and you
think about
do
if I was nice more often. I mean, you just got to be nice to people. That's all. That's all it really is.
Yeah, and you do a good amount of commercial work, right? What would you say like the split is in your company?
I'll say 50-50 if you count like some new construction that we do.
Now, because not a lot of people have they want to get into it and they think it's this big shiny, I want to do commercial work. What are your thoughts on commercial work? What have you saw? What experiences have you went through, and what would you say to somebody looking to get into commercial work?
You just gotta be like on top of things. Like you gotta be there a lot. You gotta make sure like everything's being followed, that you have bid, and like when they add something extra, you just gotta be like making sure like, hey, was that on the can we look that on the plans? I didn't see it on there. And they're like, oh yeah, it wasn't. I'm like, okay, let me get you extra for, let me write you up a change order for that. And they're like, okay. But like, if you don't pay attention, like you can really get pushed into doing things that aren't on your contract pretty easily. And so that's like something that I'm really watching a lot, making sure our guys aren't doing extra stuff. I mean, I don't mind doing a couple little things. Like we have like built in some touch up hours, and we just track those for the, like when we get into extras and all that, we'll use some of those hours to do some free stuff. And then we'll say, hey, we did all this free stuff. But I think if you're going to get into commercial or new construction, do one, track it, see what you can do. If you have subs and you can do part of the project with subs and part of it with employees, or the whole thing with subs, it's just you really got to be on there and kind of help out and make sure that you kind of get it down. It's different than residential, but at the same time, sometimes it's better because they like understand that you're not working on President's Day, or they understand you're not working on Christmas, or they understand like that you're not going to answer your phone on the weekend because they're off too. Like that's why I like commercial, is because it's like a lot more laid back and understanding of your personal time. Whereas, because I'll be like, hey, they're like, can you work the weekend? I'm like, yeah, it's going to cost this much. Like, never mind. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, interesting.
You know what I mean? And I've gotten out hundreds of weekends for that.
What about margins? Right now, like the big thing is like, I need to make 50% margin. It's kind of like the most attractive number when it comes to profits, right? 50%. Everybody wants that. What would you say you need to do to win commercial bids? Do you have to really see and tighten that up, or do you feel like you're pretty much landing at 50 as well, plus?
So me and my estimator were going over it today, and I'm like, hey, we need to raise our prices. And he's like, well, if we're going to hit 50%, why should we raise our price? And I'm like, because I don't want to win everything. Because when we win at 50%, that's because we did everything perfect and there was no problems. And so it's like, and sometimes we can hit 60 and do everything perfect with no problems, but why not do 70 and then not have to hire a bunch of people, is what I'm trying to tell my estimator. I'm like, why don't we just jump our price up? Because I'd rather do 4 million this year at 60% than 5 million at 45%. Like, you know what I mean? And it's less headache, and you have less problems with management and teams and employees and sales guys getting paid too much. Like we're just kind of taking it easier this year and working on raising our prices a little bit. I think if your goal is to do new construction and you're good with 30%, I don't think that's a good goal. I think you should be hitting 50 or 60. And if you got to get your foot in the door on the first two at 30%, and then you have subs that can help you out and try to get that 30% to 50 by helping and doing maybe the exterior for 1,000 instead of 2,000 to try to get your number up, then that's something that you got to work with your sub and say, hey man, we're going to get these two jobs. They're going to be tight. I need you guys to get these done for this price, but the next one we'll raise the price a little bit. And so like just trying to slowly raise that price. There were some that we were doing for like $15,000, and they're all one color. And we've been there for so long that we started at like 7,000, and now we're at 15,000. And they pay it because they went and tried to get another bid for 10 grand. The guy ruined everything, and then they paid us 5 grand to fix it all. So I mean, now they're back. It's like, sometimes you gotta try to get in and do a little bit cheaper, but then you just gotta go in and help them. go work with them for 2 days
Show
and
them
try
the
to get the job
value.
done. That's what I tell my estimate or my PMs now. I'm like, if you're not hitting your number, instead of taking off early on a Friday, why don't you go work 3 hours and help your guys get done and hit the deadline?
Yeah.
Dude, and they don't like to hear that, but it's good for them.
No, absolutely. I love that you mentioned that you'd prefer to do 4 million at 60 than 5 at 45. I think a lot of people, especially when I talk to guys, I don't know if you're going through this, Aiden, as well. Guys are like, dude, I want to scale and I want to achieve all these things, and I'm like, guys, like, here's the funny part: I've scaled and I want to scale back. Like, I almost want to go back to like 2 million and do less and make more with less headache. And I try to tell guys all the time, I'm like, what does that number mean to you? What is that even going to do? Do you know what that even, like, what's it associated for? Just to say you did it?
It's awesome. It's an awesome thing to be the big dog around town and all that, but it feels better to have the right guys in the right places and everything runs smooth and you can go on vacation and not worry. You can sleep at night. I don't think having problems sleeping and waking up at 4 a.m. and, having to drink to make your problems go away. That was one thing I struggled with before was having to have a couple of drinks at night because I couldn't get my mind off work. And that's not worth it to me. I'd rather make the same amount of money and scale back.
Yeah, man.
For sure.
Well said.
and as far as now you've saw 5 million. What's next for you? You've went to a couple of these events and they're designed to learn and grow and obviously network as well. But what are your takeaways and what are some things that you're focusing on right now, especially at your size?
I'm canceling every single event and I'm canceling every single coach and I'm just implementing all year. I'm not doing any coaching. I'm not doing any events. I'm just implementing everything I learned last year and hanging out with my guys and tightening things up. And that's all I'm doing this whole year. And I believe that when you get everybody in the right headspace and everybody's a good team and you're back at that mentality that you were at before, I feel like it'll just scale by itself instead of having to try to get it to scale. So that's kind of what I'm working on right now.
Bro, if you had to do it again, what are some of the first positions you'll bring on?
That's such a good question.
The first position? Probably like a coordinator or like an operator, somebody that can get everything set up and put into the right place and deal with the customers. I think having somebody
like an admin type thing?
Yeah. I think so, because you can always do sales and project managing, those are easy, but I'm not really good at messing with the apps and
CRM
organizing
management.
Jobs and talking to customers every day. The fun stuff is doing sales and project managing, but having a coordinator that gets everything organized and puts all the teams where they need to go and having everything tracked and tracking all the numbers and the products and putting all the materials where they need to go when they call in. That's somebody I would have hired a long time ago.
Damn. What are some things that you want to tell the world, share with the world, bro?
Put God first in your life and everything else will be good.
Dude, do you remember that paint con? Everybody came up and everybody talked about God.
Everybody.
That was epic, bro.
I'm going to go to paint con. I just could not believe that. I just couldn't believe it was such a great event. That was just nobody drank. Everybody was just having a good time. Everybody was giving credit to God. Everyone there was a Christian. I believe, the next one we have 200 people. I bet 10 of them get saved next time they go. I think somebody needs to go up there and preach the gospel on it last night and just have everybody come.
We're getting somebody. Put that down. Take that snippet. Send it to Lucas. We're getting that done.
I might have to bring my brother. He's a pastor, and he's the one that got me into sales to begin with.
Yeah.
And, just to tie this in real fast, because I want to mention what Daniel was saying earlier. Notice how you were saying, like, you wish you had that guidance and stuff, and now you have these Christian business owners. Just to tie that in, I was telling my brother, I'm like, dude, we should have a group of really tying in what business owners should feel within the Bible, so that we know how the Bible works in hand with business owners, because there is a biblical standpoint on that. And in fact, if you guys look at my background right now, that's the John C. Maxwell Bible.
Yeah.
And it talks business within it, and it talks about leadership and scriptures that literally state what we should be doing as leaders, as Christians. And it's all tied together. So how powerful would that be? So
yeah.
I've been bothering my brother on that.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
My brother-in-law, he got me into like faith really, early on, and he's starting a business now. He's been a 9-to-5 guy his whole life, corporate, right? And he's starting his first business, and we talked a little bit, and he's struggling actually with the idea of like charging high prices, just because he wants it to be more of a ministry in a way, right? Because he knows that there's a mission behind it and a reason that he wants to do it. So I kind of had to explain to him, like, there is a, give and take in that, but at the same time, you can change way more people's lives by having profits to be able to bring more people in to spread it faster, right? So just something that I kind of explained, and interesting,
Yeah, I think when you're first starting out, like, you don't have no overhead, you don't have any expenses. Like, hitting 50% profit is so easy. Like, I mean, you could hit, if you do 2 jobs and hit 25% profit on both of them, and you combine them together or whatever. Like, I just think, like, starting out, you gotta do whatever you gotta do. Like,
yeah.
You got to get your name out there. If you can only make 20% profit, do that. I don't like. To me, that's how I did it. I just got my name out there. If I was working for free or not making any money, like, it didn't matter to me. I was just trying to get my name established. And then now it's like, I just like I can't do all the work. There's no way. People are like,
again,
oh,
planted that seed though.
Your prices are too high. I'm like, well, I have 30 jobs this week, so everybody else didn't think so.
That's a real sales tactic, actually.
Yeah.
That's so funny. All right, man. Where can they find you, Daniel? Where can they find you?
Grand Junction, Colorado, Canyon View Vineyard Church. I'll be there on Sunday.
I love you, man.
Yes,
you're
the best,
awesome,
dude.
bro.
Go follow my man's socials. Daniel Integrity Painting. I believe that's the name they can look up. We appreciate you hopping on, bro. We know you're a busy man, and it's awesome getting to know you, and seeing kind of just the high energy guy and just a good person to have around, man. Really,
100%.
You're doing great things,
Thank
man.
you.
And man, Joel, if you can wrap it up with a quote.
Yeah, absolutely. I always leave a quote. This one I actually had to look up because I wanted it to be painted related this time. So I think this one's really good. I put, painting is just another way of keeping a diary. It's from Pablo Picasso. Now, we talk about Paint Your Path Pod, right? That's why we created it. And obviously we're painters by trade. But think about that. Painting is just another way of keeping a diary. Well, how beautiful is that? We're telling our stories every time we come in the path. And we get in path with Daniel and any other guest speakers. We're always painting a story. And through painting, we're helping other people create a new story in their lives. So I thought that quote would be a really good one for us today. And if you guys can imagine how much painting has changed all of our lives, I feel blessed to be here with the 3 of you and everybody else. So God bless you guys. Thank you so much. And until we meet again.
Go like, subscribe, check out the next ones, the previous ones, and Daniel Integrity Painting, Facebook, Instagram, the whole 9. All right.
Thanks, Daniel.
I'll talk to you guys.
And if you guys need anything, call me. I'll help you with whatever you guys need help on. Just message me during working hours, and I'll get back to you. I don't work after hours, so do not even try.
Man, the myth. Thank you, brother.
Appreciate you. Thanks,
See
bro.
ya.